Here we are.
Are we gonna intro it?
I feel like you have to do it.
What do you say? What do you? I thought you would do.
Welcome back and welcome to the Bargain Boys podcast.
Go ahead,
We
Lord.
don't have one.
Me?
Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome. All right, everybody. I'll cut that out.
Inaugural Bargain Boys podcast here at the great Billy Lake. It's gonna be good. Just talk about a couple different things. Just got done running.
Yeah.
15 solid, hard, very hard miles.
I had 14. I had an emergency.
Sorry, buddy.
Emergency stop.
I had an emergency stop. I had to expel some waste, so to speak,
Oh,
at the
man.
beautiful Barbersville Park.
Good stuff.
It was good.
Good to be out here. Good morning. The energy was super high.
We were pre-gaming to the
Right.
podcast.
Everyone brought coffees. Jack brought a Coke.
Classic. How the hell did you guys say you have warm coffee?
Dude,
I
like,
planned ahead.
nervous.
We knew
3 hours,
it.
We're
dog.
not idiots. It's not our first time drinking
This
coffee.
is my first rodeo, dude.
So we have a lot to maybe talk about today.
Yeah, I think first order of business, we definitely had. We were talking. We need to hash down
Hash down.
Jack's Cocodona experience, and
Sure.
then we can compare it to how our experience went.
Yeah, man. That'd be great. Ryan's experience is going to be similar to mine, sort
Should
of.
we introduce everybody first?
Probably.
Yes, so, yeah.
All right.
So,
So
I'm Caleb Bowen. I'm Jack Bangton. I'm local guy. Local guy, yeah, dude.
Dan Green.
I'm Ryan Ramsby.
Logan Kirby.
Thanks for joining the pod today.
Yeah, get that in there.
We're glad to have everybody. We're going to banter back and forth a little bit.
Just a couple of dudes, dude.
That's right.
That's all we are. In reality.
So, coming off Cocodona, you're
Yes.
back at it.
Mhm.
You're already back on Ultra Sign Up, wreaking havoc.
Doing bad things.
Where's the mindset? Where's the body? How are things feeling?
I feel like the body is still coming back a little bit. Like nothing's too sore, but I feel like I just don't have any like power or anything. Like I have no power.
That's called recovery, dude.
Yeah, I know. It sucks, man.
You lose the pop.
I lost the pop. That little spring.
Gotta
So-
keep it poppy.
No injuries. I thought I injured myself the other week, but I'm okay. And to give a little context, I ran 109 hours. I finished it at 109 hours. A little ahead of the middle of the pack. It's what I wanted. The pocket.
So,
And,
I think a great debate is what's harder, 109 hours or 59 hours, 58 hours?
that's
What's harder? 50 hours more? That's a ton of time.
yeah, but I'm like chilling.
I think
Like I'm like
worse.
cooling. I think it's too.
You're so sleepy and tired, and
I was pretty sleepy.
The weather did get a little bit better though as it went on.
That's what I've been saying. I was saying,
was it day 3 it got better?
day 3 it improved. It didn't rain much that day, but the first 2 days. See, the storm followed you because you were running. You're running too fast.
We brought the storms. We were creating so much static electricity.
Too much power.
It was nuts.
Too much aura going down that trail.
Did you have a favorite part or worst part or both?
Worst was definitely Mingus. Like the field going into Mingus, awful. I mean, anyone will tell you that. Anyone who ran that race will co-sign that. Horrible mud. It just lasted forever. We hit it at night, so it was just horrifically storming. That was after the tornado.
Yeah, you had a picture of a tornado.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
A tornado.
No one else talked about that. I didn't hear anything
I
else
had no
about that
idea that it was happening.
except you and Michael's photograph of it.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I
saw it.
yeah. At first, I didn't trust it because I was like, Michael took it, dude. There's no way that's a legitimate photo.
Yeah.
He photoshopped it.
Yeah,
It was
Michael
a real
definitely did that shit up.
tornado cyclone.
Yeah, it was leaving Iron King towards Thane Ranch. Straight up tornado circling in the sky. Kind of insane. Yeah, no one else talked about it. But it also dissipated. We saw it break up, live. It broke up in 5 seconds. It just went crazy. It's scary. It scared me.
And he's just standing there in a poncho.
We were loving it.
Great picture.
Yeah.
Jack in a full poncho.
Creepy crawling on you.
Cicada.
A little inchworm. He's hanging out, dude.
Right up there for all 15.
Damn.
I hope Peter doesn't.
I was about to say you should be like a little mascot for the
I
pod.
don't like
He
bugs.
just got fucking annihilated, dude. But yeah, that was probably the worst part. Going down to Jerome also sucked. Just that entire section. It's too muddy.
It's good to hear you say that. Those were my least favorites.
I think those are everyone's though.
What was
That's not a
worse,
unique term.
the field leading into Fane, the
Mhm.
Satisfy aid station, or the field going out of it?
Uh,
Or was it the same exact terrain?
I think It was pretty similar, but I think going out was worse because I knew Mingus was coming up, and I could see it, and it just kept this field just kept going.
So
It
you
was like,
could see
Yeah.
like where the base of the climb was starting.
sort
See,
of.
we went through there at night, so we were just totally in the blind.
Well, we started at the daytime.
Like,
Yeah.
how many miles left? How many miles? I'm like, Logan. Logan was doing good. He's like, man, we're getting there, man. I'd be like, how many? He'd be like, we're getting there. I'm like, I need to know a number. I was like, stop telling me we're getting there.
Man, that's when I also reached sort of insanity. Like I was losing my mind because I was also just so terrible. Like and we started out during the day, so I could see the mountain, and then it got dark, so I couldn't see it anymore. I was like, where the fuck are we? It's raining sideways.
We couldn't
And-
see. Like,
I was so sleepy too. That was my. I heard who was it? Sarah. She lives in Pennsylvania, I think. She ran it too.
You're in London.
I think it might be her.
Yeah.
Or someone else. But
Yeah.
they called it. She called it at that time. She got sleepy. Her witching hour. And like my witching hour was 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah. That's hard for me too. I think once the sun goes down and you're like, I should be asleep right now,
Yeah.
and you're not, it's awful, man. It's the worst.
Pretty horrible.
So what was your sleep schedule like during the day?
My plan was to get at least 60 minutes every 24 hours, and I pretty much stuck to that. I ended up sleeping a little bit more than I wanted at the end. I think in total I slept like 8 hours maybe. I wanted to sleep 7, but I don't know, man. I love sleeping. Like I really love sleeping, just like in general. And by the time I got to the point where everything looked comfortable, like every space on the ground looked comfortable, it was like being super sleepy and surrounded by beds. So I was like every single area looks great. So it was hard to resist laying down on the ground towards the end.
Yeah.
So I might have taken a little too many.
Did you lay something down or did you just lay it down? Take your vest off?
I took my vest off. My general plan was I take my vest off and just use this little pillow, and that's what I did for the most part.
You didn't put a bivvy down or something?
Towards the end I did, going to Walnut Canyon because it was in the morning and it was cold. I got that space blanket out and I laid on that, which worked good.
I
But-
never got one.
You never got your space blanket?
I was kind of looking forward to trying to use it.
The Satisfy space blanket?
No.
You didn't get one?
I didn't get one.
I got one for you.
Perfect.
I'll bring it.
We talked about that.
Does
I
it
forgot
say it on it?
It says Satisfy on it.
I never even heard of
Just
it.
it's
First
just
time.
like a
Is it
sticker
like
on the bag.
extra warm?
Better be. I think it's probably like $60.
Nah, dude. It's 100% Dyneema. That's Italian Dyneema, dude.
Yeah. It'll last forever. You only need one.
Only one. Yeah, man. I don't think I'd ever be able to get it back that small again, though.
Yeah.
It's impossible. But yeah, going to Mingus, like, you know the fences, like, you had to cross in that field?
Well, yeah.
I was so tired. I was just leaning up against that fence at one point. I was like, Michael, I have to stop for like 3 minutes. And I just sat down in the rain, the mud, and I just laid there. For like,
We were scraping mud off of the rungs of those ladders.
yeah, that's what I was doing.
Was there a lot of mud on the ladders?
Yeah.
There was none when we got
Yeah, it
here.
was fucking crazy. That was your fault.
We made sure to get it off, though. We
Yeah.
would scrape our shoe and then I'd clean it off. Because I was like, there's going to be 100, 200 people behind me doing the same thing.
That section was just, what was really frustrating was, you know, you're just running and it's like, all right, we're going to follow this section of the fence for a while. And then it would veer off to the right like 100 yards.
And then
And
go,
then just come right back
Yeah,
to the fence.
yeah.
And it just
If
went
we
on
would have known that, we could have just gone straight.
We could have just
But you wouldn't have known.
no.
We didn't know how far we
We
were
were just
until we
following the GPX.
Yeah, that was pretty awful.
Also, you're right along a road, so like you're just like, why are we not on the road? Then you guys passed us at one point, and you're like, good job, guys, pretty good. I'm like crying and the freaking not crying. I was just pissed off.
I didn't understand. My immediate thought was like, dude, they're walking. Why are they walking?
You didn't know it
like
was
that is
running.
not a walkable section. They should definitely be running.
Yeah, in theory.
Not knowing how that's where the mud really began.
It was rough.
I mean, before that it was a little bit.
It was
but
bad, dude. It was a lot of mud.
that was the point when we were like, oh, this must be bad.
It was cold too.
Yeah.
It was really cold.
Was it raining?
We got a case of the shakes.
I got a slight shiver going.
Were they talking about any of that on the live stream?
A little bit, but they didn't know how bad the mud was at that point.
Okay.
It just we saw it was raining, and we were wondering like, well, everybody was like, "Hey, where's Courtney? Where's Courtney? Where's Courtney?" And I'm like, "Hey, where's Dan?" So
Passenger.
yeah,
No,
up
maybe
at
not
up
yet.
Until that
Sorry.
point, everybody's worried about Harry because everybody saw your Instagram story about how he like fell in his head,
Yep.
and then they're wondering like if he's going to be able to come back, and that's about it. No one really knew how bad the mud was until after,
Yeah.
the next morning, I think.
It was so bad.
Pretty horrible. That was
Tim,
probably
you-
everyone's worst section.
I guess we could just move on to the later time. When was the time we saw you?
The first time? That was at 190, I think, when you guys met up with me, right?
Yeah.
That was a good time. Yeah. After that point, dude, after it
Did
stopped
Ryan?
raining,
You
I
were
was
with
so
them
good.
before that, though, right? You were with him at
No,
the
I
house?
picked Jack up at Munns Park.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to the house. I did go to the house and woke him up because he was in there napping like a little baby. He was all
I
cozied
saw
up
you
in
before
bed.
that. I saw you before that. You came, right?
No, I woke you up at your Airbnb.
I know you were at the aid station.
Your
when I
parents
got
were
to
gonna let you
Munns Park,
sleep?
right?
No.
You guys weren't?
Munns Park?
No, because we were in Flagstaff.
Oh yeah, you're still coming down.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was. I got to tell this one. Yeah, I was just sleeping in my Airbnb. Hour little nap. Honestly, I slept worse in my Airbnb than I did on the ground, but that's whatever. And Ryan just comes bursting in my room at the 60-minute mark, and he's like, "What the fuck's up, dude? What the fuck's going on?" He's got a camera, dude. And I'm like, I don't no clue what's happening. He's like, "Dude, how you feeling, dude?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I was gonna be interrogated."
That's how you get up, dude. You got to get up quick.
Yeah, it was chaotic. They shoved me some pizza. I'm just like
Oh.
taping up my feet.
Your mom's just shoving water in your vest, just liter after liter. Michael and I are just sitting back like, that's so much water. I don't know if that's necessary. But
How did your feet? Like, I didn't hear about your feet. Did you have any blisters?
I had
Tape it.
like very minimal blisters till mile like 200. Yeah, I just taped up my feet. I had like the weird pain, tingly feeling, itchy feeling that you've described and Tisdale told me about too. So I had tape on the ball of my foot and my heel just to help with that, and it actually did. That was a really shout out to Ann Tisdale. That was a great piece of advice
it's good.
going into that. But yeah, I had a couple blisters on my pinkies, and I had my big toes wrapped up because they had kind of been getting a little bit of, a little hot spot.
Your pinky toes?
My pinky toes. What do you call them?
Pinky toes.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was going to say. Anyways, but at like mile 200, I started getting a blister on the back of my heel on both my feet because of Stinsons. I don't know what was happening. Those Stinson sixes, they just were rubbing a little bit. And I just decided to keep my shoes on till the end. And when I took my shoes off the end, I had like bigger than a golf ball size blister on both.
You were touching them too, like there was no problem. I was like grossed out. You were like, look at these things. I was like, dude, don't touch those, dude.
They weren't hurting me too bad. Except going down Eldon, like I would hit them wrong.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit! I was screaming down Eldon, dude. I was so pissed.
I was sleeping down Eldon.
You were sleepy?
I was in sleep mode.
Yeah.
I was bending the stick. Putting too much force
So
on
they're
the
gone
board.
these days.
Yeah, Dan's biggest injury was his wrist. His
It
wrist.
was,
yeah.
It just
Yeah.
got fixed. It was Eric, our chiropractor, Eric Cooper Chiropractics. He freaking told me my bones were out of whack. He adjusted it in his kitchen while making pasta.
Really?
Pretty sick, yeah.
You went to his house?
He lives like on the way back to my house from work.
Oh, that's cool. Got it done. Yeah, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, but other than that, my feet did pretty good. I didn't have too many problems.
Right.
The Los Sportivas I was wearing, the Prodigios, they probably felt the best out of a lot of shoes, but they also were like agitating that weird feeling for some reason, which I don't know why.
Yeah. Maybe because they're not stable enough, so your foot's doing a little more work. Maybe
That might be it. Or maybe, I don't know. It was very strange, but they felt good otherwise.
Yeah.
Like I could have worn them to the end, but the Stinson 6 just felt a little bit better. It didn't.
Protective.
Yeah, it was a little bit more protective for sure.
Yeah.
Those things are clapped now.
They're done, though.
They're done.
You throw them away.
No, I'm gonna keep them. They're a keepsake.
Yeah, that's true.
I ran grindstone in those. Part of the Tennessee race and most Cocodona.
Nice.
They've had a long lifespan.
That's
Nice.
a keeper.
So going back a couple miles before Munns Hangover Trail,
Yeah,
Oh,
did you hit that in the day or the night?
I hit it like right at daybreak, which was the perfect time to hit it.
Nice.
Left
So like
left,
sunrise coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
left Sedona during the night with my buddy Chris. Shout out Chris, just watching this, and we hit it right at sunrise, and it was cool. It was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite parts.
Did you guys wait to hit it at sunrise, or it just timed out?
That's just how it worked out. We were
Nice.
gonna hit it during the nighttime, but I ended up sleeping longer at Sedona. I was going into Sedona. I was really fun. That was such a rough section. I had like two dirt naps in that like 7 mile section leading up to Sedona.
And on paper, you're like, well, this, leading into it, you're like, this section is nothing, because it's pretty flat, super buff, but there's something about it, man. I think it's the mileage it comes at,
I
or
think so.
I mean, some of it's pretty steep. It's also the fear of like
Climbs.
it's steep enough and there's nothing behind you,
What are you talking about?
Hangover Trail, right? So
No, we're talking about leading into Sedona, like
Oh,
Deer
yeah,
Pass and
okay.
Dead Horse.
Yeah.
Like that
I
whole
was like, I
segment
don't know.
just smokes you.
I like Dead Horse, like that section, even though I kind of shit myself during it. But like really,
Gloves are off.
cut that out. I'm just kidding. But after Dead Horse, or Deer Pass, after Deer Pass, it got a little gnarly because it got nighttime. It's my witching hour.
Yeah.
I started getting smoked. That was one thing I saw in the documentary that I was kind of jealous about. Is that section looked really cool during the day because you were kind of in like the
For
islands.
Sedona?
Yeah, like you were high up and you're kind of on these like single path. At night, I just didn't see anything like that. It was just,
I was post nap too for that.
oh yeah, that was post nap. Was that when you?
Post nap. And was that a McDonald's breakfast at that age?
It was a McDonald's breakfast,
Yeah.
big breakfast.
Ooh,
Isaac's like, make sure he eats the sausage. It's like falling out of your hands onto the ground.
I was hoping you didn't see that, but I picked it up and I was like, man, it's pretty
It
pretty bad.
It
But
obviously didn't matter.
no. Was that when Isaac was like, "You want to wash your hands?" You were like, "No."
Yeah, he's like, would you like to disinfect your hands?
he's
I should have definitely done it probably.
I don't think I will. You know, I don't think I.
We didn't have time to clean.
nah.
So what did fueling look like? Like, did you ever go gels, or were you solid food from the beginning?
I kept like a couple gels I made all the time, so I'd take them every once in a while, just to kind of fill in the gaps. Also, if I wasn't feeling like chewing much, but mainly just like snack foods. I kind of went the Ransby route. Snack foods. I ate a lot of gummies.
That's the key, man.
Goldfish, dude.
I did have goldfish. Yeah, goldfish were good.
Yeah.
They were banging.
Dan was eating a lot of goldfish.
Ultimate food.
Just you need the salty crunchy. You were doing the Oreos
Oreos and
Min-
goldfish.
and goldfish.
Mini Oreos and goldfish. I'm gonna carry that same energy into Tahoe, man.
If it works, it works.
I'm taking
That's good
caffeine gels and then all real food.
Nice.
That's it.
That was my.
That's a good system.
That's it. Yeah. But I didn't have any stomach problems really. Felt pretty good. I will say my one thing I want to do at Monster is like I need to eat more before I go to sleep because when I woke up from like a nap, I would be so sick feeling. Yeah, so much like morning sickness or whatever it is.
I think the key is to eat and drink a good bit,
Mhm.
then lay down, let all that be absorbing in, and then hopefully when you wake up, you're good.
But feeling better.
I don't never know, man. There's so many
Better
very
get a little heat jacket on.
It's a little nippy out
I'll
here.
trade you.
Yeah, I've got my blanket. You want the quilt?
Logan and I are like look at our.
You want to share the quilt? It's huge.
Good now, dude.
It's fine.
So Jess, Arizona Monster.
Yes,
Does it overlap like course wise, or is it
No.
completely different?
it's completely
Wait,
different.
are we letting the cat out of the bag that Jack immediately registered for Arizona Monster 300?
Yeah, dude.
Jack has no regard for his wallet, dude.
No, dude. I mean, what's it gonna do? I could die tomorrow. I can get hit by a bus tomorrow, and you know,
I
I'll
love
be
it.
sitting there. So, I don't know if we want to move on to that yet or not.
Well,
Well, we don't have
But
to.
Let's at least talk about Eldon and then the finish.
For sure.
I haven't even really talked to you about it. Your Element experience.
Eldon,
What was it? Yeah.
we kind of got it in a great time of day. It was not raining. It was warm. Like,
Was there mud then?
no mud.
See, we were thinking the snow maybe had covered up mud because it was like kind of that red clayy type mud.
No, but it was dry by the time I got there. Was it muddy for you or?
It wasn't. It was like snow on top of mud,
Nasty?
but it wasn't sticky because the snow was on top.
was it freezing cold when you were up there?
No, it was warm. Me and Mike, I just wore sun shirt and shorts, and that was good. No gloves. I had my sun gloves on. That doesn't really count. But the climb was, I mean, it was long. That's a long ass climb. I don't know which would be I'd rather do though, because the other one on the other side, it's short, but it's really.
I would rather do it the other way.
The other
You've done
way,
both.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
have
so-
done both.
It was so nice.
Yeah, I think you just get it out of the way,
Yeah.
knowing you have
Yes.
7 or 8 miles of like cruisable downhill.
Doing that with you last year, it was like that. It was like, dude, all we got to do is get to the top. All we got to do is get to the top. The last 8 or 9 miles.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter.
Yeah, it was just.
You were done at the
Easy.
top. You were finished. As long as you weren't like in and out of consciousness or whatever. But I mean, if you were feeling okay and you got to the top, it was like you're done. Basically, just cruising to town.
Yeah, I
But-
think this year would definitely be slower. I would just have to imagine.
I mean, it definitely was. 'Cause, I mean, you couldn't. There was no time. Like in the past, yeah, going up is slow, but you can make up time going down. But this time, it was still super fucking
It's
slow,
tough both
and it
ways.
was long. It was like you get down to the bottom and you have like fucking 6 more miles. Or
Yeah.
something.
You like. I don't think we did that. We came right off the trail, right into those little trails before Buffalo Park, and then right into Buffalo Park. It wasn't that like we like circumnavigated a bit. There was like 3 miles of like trail kind of alongside the mountain.
That was probably the second time I was freaking out.
Yeah, because you think you're like, oh, we're out of it, and
Yeah. Like when
Yep.
we came down to that last aid station.
yeah, you're in a parking lot for a second.
Yeah, and we and Michael, we were like, we thought we were gonna go on the road, and we started heading towards the road, and they're like, no, 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 you gotta go over here, and I like audibly just went, what the fuck? I was like, like, we're going back up this bullshit, because those trails were horrible too, because you'd go up a little hill and then you go down a little hill, and then you go back up.
Yeah.
That was the trail
Killing
layout.
1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it was just pissing me off. But as soon as we got to Buffalo Park and I saw like the media guy, I don't know who this guy was. He was cool. I talked to him a good bit.
Was he have a backpack on?
I haven't had a clue.
It wouldn't have been Troy then.
Jack has no idea. He thought we were at Munzo beforehand.
That's
I
very
don't know where
true.
the aid stations are either, so.
Yeah, man, it was rough. But yeah, as soon as I saw that guy, I was like cheerful. But before then, I was like, this shit. Well, fuck, I was going crazy. A lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
But we made it. It was good. The climb up Eldon was long though. Back to that. I mean, but it was okay. I've never had too many problems climbing.
How depressed were you when you start ascending a little, and then Eldon's over here, and you turn this way, away from Eldon, dude?
I looked at the GPX file, so I knew it was coming. I was like, I know we're gonna go left or right, and then do a big loop around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
So then you come into
That was
Buffalo
like-
Park. You finally get there. Your boys are there. What were the final miles like, and what was going through your head?
I could not. I wasn't even thinking about the finish. Like I couldn't believe I was there.
Yeah.
Like I just had like it's like we talked about. Like you don't go so long without even thinking about it. You're actively pushing it out of your mind.
Yeah.
That when you're there, it's hard to get it back in your mind. Like I might have started thinking a little bit about it the last 2 miles, but it still didn't feel like it was actually happening.
Yeah.
It just I don't know. It was just such an insane. It was a blur too because everyone was running with me and all the media and stuff. Like that's so different from the other races I've finished. Like to where it's sort of almost like a quiet moment. You get to kind of like contemplate a little bit.
Not this
Not this one, dude. Everyone was just screaming.
People are
running.
honking at you.
Yeah,
But you obeyed all traffic laws, right?
I did. Yeah, we were stopping stop signs. We weren't jaywalking.
Man.
I've noticed that they were taking that stuff really serious out there.
Oh yeah.
Even in Scottsdale when we were staying there, the traffic laws, like the pedestrians they weren't like it wasn't like in Huntington.
Not
I'll tell you
Huntington.
that.
Huntington.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's not like Huntington.
The
So-
cool thing I thought about your finish and Dan's is like you still had the live coverage. They never gave up. Like they were still out there following you.
Yep.
And it was a little bit delayed. So you come across the finish line and I remember they had the big screen behind it.
Yeah.
And it was like we got to watch it again. And it was just like, man, that's so cool.
That's cool.
So that was really neat.
The best part was probably having you guys there. Like it was awesome running in. Like, dude, I watched that video again on you posted to your story. Like as you were filming, as I was coming in, dude, you're just so excited. You're just like, yes,
Because I know that
I was just loving it. I was like, dude, it was such a hype moment.
it was like because I remembered that feeling of
Yeah.
being so depleted, and then I didn't, last year I don't know why, but I was like I didn't expect you guys to be there,
Yeah.
and then when you were, it was just like holy smoke, like that was the coolest part of the whole thing. So it's like you want to return that favor as much as possible, Logan almost missed it. He was passed out in a cafe.
I was, dude.
Literally
sleeping
passed
in a
out.
coffee shop. And for some reason, like, the phone service went down in that coffee shop, so nobody could have got a hold of me. Like, I just happened to wake up to hearing someone talking about Dan.
Oh man,
They were all
So they couldn't find
that's
you.
crazy.
They probably
He
knew.
luckily walked out of whatever that Diablo Burger or whatever that place
that
was.
cafe as you're like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
It was great.
And then Dan can barely walk.
Mhm.
I've got Berks on trying to run. It was just a mess.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
couldn't
we're
go.
going.
I couldn't
It
go
was
much
like-
further. I just went to the end of the block.
Yeah, dude, you were yelling. You're like, I'd run in with you, but I can't. I'm just like, 100 man.
Completely understandable.
I think I yelled back, I understand, or something.
If we were to do it again at the same time and I finished beforehand, I would love to come back and pace that one section. It's like 7 miles.
That would be really cool.
I 100% think I could. Now.
Are you talking about from like Walnut Canyon to Wildcat Hill? Like
Probably.
I think that's like
That's a
60
really
miles
runnable.
section.
That's Isaac did that with me. It's super runnable,
Yeah.
flat. You could run that half crippled.
I didn't want to ask you to do that because I knew you were crippled. You were
I-
bad.
Dude, I could
But it
have.
would have been funny. I mean, I like power hiked a lot, like most of that shit. So,
One other thing I want to talk about. So when I got there and I was getting ready to pace you,
Yeah.
and we're going, and originally I was going to pace 2 sections, but as soon as I pulled to the house, Michael's like, "Hey man, I know you're supposed to have like 6 more miles, but I got it. I got it." I was like, "That's fine. I'm smoked. Like I haven't slept in 50 hours. Like that's fine." So we're talking about it later.
Did he touch
And
you?
you're like, Michael needs to redeem himself because the first night he got here, I was pacing him. Like you were pacing Michael, and he was the one that had to take a trail nap, right?
Yeah. So I should preface this.
Tell us about
Wait, you stopped for him to take a nap?
Listen, I needed one too, but listen,
It's not good, dude. That's bad.
Michael was he was an MVP at Cocodona.
Oh,
he was one of the ones to come out. Tough guy, awesome dude, really fit. But man, he suffers from the sleepiness. He suffers bad from sleepy.
He also ran a PR marathon.
He did.
The day before.
Yes, Sunday. Sunday before he came out, he ran PR marathon at the Lincoln Marathon for the Army. So, a lot of love to Michael coming out and doing it and did a great job. But yeah, going down from Mingus to Jerome, he was sleepy. He was really sleepy. Mingus Jerome, very sleepy. And I was out hiking him at some points on some hills. So we had to get a little nap in.
That's nuts.
But he took that 10-minute nap and it fixed him.
He was good to go.
He was good to go.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was prepared for how muddy it was going to be and how nasty those sections were. He got the nastiest sections by far.
Yeah.
Because he got those 2, like Thane Ranch to Jerome, and then like the Eldon to finish.
Yeah.
So some gnarly ones. But yeah, we was having a little trouble some of those hills.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
No,
but
I just thought that was funny.
That's a great
You never
story.
want that to happen, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just reality.
it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job. What is it?
You just dropped your pacer. It was kind of cool.
Technically did. For not really. I mean, he was still there, just a little bit behind him.
Yeah, because you stopped so he could sleep.
Listen, I needed it too, though. It wasn't just him. I was like, I need to take a nap. It was just that daybreak. I was a little bit sleepy.
Perfect. No, it's awesome.
But yeah, my pacing was great. My buddy Jaden, I got to shout out Jaden because Jaden might have been the ultimate MVP.
He was everywhere, dude.
He was everywhere. He's just it's my buddy Jaden. He lives out there. I think he's moving back to Omaha, but he was living homeless out of his car out there, and I offered him my Airbnbs, and he loves running. He loves this stuff, so he stayed at the Airbnbs, and he paced me like 50 some miles or something in total. Just he was not even supposed to pace me originally because I had other people coming out, and it wasn't anyone's fault. Like just things came up, so people had to drop, but he really jumped into action.
That's
And
awesome.
got it done. I think he just ran like a 50 miler before.
That's what you need.
I think he ran more like miles than he ever has.
PR mile.
Yeah. In like 2 days. So
On a whim.
yeah. And he was just a good pacer. He would talk when you'd talk.
It's kind of cool to have a pacer you don't see all the time either, I imagine.
Mhm.
Like it's nice to have pacers you're familiar with, but then it's probably cool. You probably have more to talk about
It was fun.
because it's like we run all the time. So like I love running with you guys, but it would be interesting to have someone that you don't see very often.
Yeah, that is the downfall of running 4 or 5 days a week.
We're like,
together.
remember that time?
We ran out of things to talk about.
Remember that time?
That time we were in Barbersville that one
Yeah.
day, and
That does always blow my mind. We spend so much time together and we talk so much while we're together, but somehow every time we're together, there's so much said.
There's a
And
lot
maybe
to
it's just
talk
a bunch
about.
of gibberish.
It's usually gibberish.
Yeah.
means
Fun
nothing,
gibberish.
but it is fun.
I don't know, dude. Sometimes we have some good, solid talks.
some deep
Time to
talk.
time.
Like this one. This is
Yeah.
this is somewhat deep.
So you're not going back to Cocodona?
No.
We were all concerned maybe Cocodona. I think Cocodona does one of two things. You either finish it and you never run again in your life,
Mm-hmm.
or you finish it and it sets you off on this 200-mile plus journey for the rest of your life. And
You're wrong.
you either love it or you hate it. And it turns out, I think you ended up loving it.
We thought we'd lost you, dude.
I did.
There was rumor that this was it.
There,
Yeah, at one point we're doing a workout. You're like, once I get done with Cocodona, I'm not running.
dude, there was whispers.
There was whisper.
I was whispering it. I was just whispering it. Well, this winter was far. It was cold.
We had a
It's a
bad
hard
winter.
winter.
It was a bad winter here, and we were running a ton, and it was great looking back. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
But it's just in the moment. It was almost like an ultra. Like to get through it, you have to tell yourself this is it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And So after Cocodona, everyone thought I was done forever. Rightfully so, because I told them I might be.
I didn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubted. I knew you wouldn't be done.
Yeah. You knew.
I also never heard you say that you were not going to run against them.
Yeah, Dan heard it afterwards, so he was like, "What?"
I know.
As I was running, like
You were
really-
pretty alarmed, Dan, when we told you. We were like,
Well, I mean, it's
We don't
staple in my running routine.
dude. Yeah, it would be devastating for me,
For everybody.
Yeah.
Like all group.
Yeah.
It'd be hard.
But obviously that's not the case.
No, that's not.
And you've already pulled the trigger on Arizona Monster 300.
Yes, I did.
So more to come on that.
Spent a
You're an idiot.
I
Dude.
spent a large sum of dollars on the monster. But I loved Cocodona. It's probably my favorite race of all time. Like I love going out and like having an adventure and like.
Oh yeah.
I've done like not sort of multi-day like mountaineering and stuff.
Climbs.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So that's also multi-day, and I just think it's cool. I had a great time. It was fun. I had way more good moments at Cocodona than bad.
You're going to love the monster.
I think I will too. That's
It's
what
going to suck, but you're going to love it.
dude. I'm getting an umbrella.
A sunbrella?
Yeah, I'm getting the sunbrella. I'm gonna be like Mary Poppins out there in
Like the hat?
desert.
The hat?
No.
Oh.
Like an actual.
Basically
umbrella.
like those little umbrellas with the foil side that they use in school pictures.
Oh yeah.
They'll have
Nice.
one of those.
People
Just
recommend
twirling
that.
it on your shoulder.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in my pack.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna have a lot of room.
Well, you got 100 liters of capacity.
What's it called?
Which one?
Your ultimate direction vest? Pack? It's not even a vest now. It's a backpack.
Fast pack. But yeah, we're getting the raid light in though.
I just can't believe you can run with that.
I'm calling it now 2027. Jack's doing like a PCT through
He
hike
is.
or
He's gonna be like,
PCT
Mark. He's gonna be like, Mark. I need to call off work for 3 months.
sabbatical.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a tweet the other day, and it was like, "I'm quitting my job to focus on summer." That was me, dude.
I love that.
I like talked about that. I was like, "Go part time."
That's
Just
the
kidding.
classic. Like, I should be able to call off work if it's nice out.
I would love that. That'd be so nice. That would
Yeah.
be perfect. That'd be like a peasant. That'd be like peasant lifestyle.
Just yeah, man, get out there.
You're outside. You're outside moving. But yeah, big money, unfortunately. But I just wanted to run another 200 plus, and that was the only one I could get into that's not a lottery for sure. Like, and it was like Moab was like so far away in my mind. It's like a year and a half. Man, that's just like
It's October. When is it?
October.
October.
get a strike by the iron.
But the lottery's not till like June.
Dude,
or
I think
July.
we're a year to maybe 2 years away from all the 200s being lottery based.
I think so too. People were just still scared of the monster. But also, I don't think the
Yeah.
press helped this last year. The
Yeah, I
press
mean,
was not.
inaugural year. Everybody's talking about shitting in a bucket. But like,
I mean,
like
people
first year at
poop on the
Cocodona,
ground.
you had to shit in a bucket.
Yeah.
Or nobody has to shit in a bucket. You can go
Hold it.
hold it, go
Hold it
somewhere
in.
else, or like not shit at that aid station. Like clearly, there's porta potties elsewhere.
Yeah, there's places
So,
to go. Especially
yeah.
like the later sections if you're in like Tucson and shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's trail running. It's 300 miles.
Dirty.
All miles aren't going to be glorious. All aid isn't going to be glorious. It's just part of it. So
That's what I was talking to Ann about. I was like, I think this one looks cool because it is still a bit wild. Not everything is just honed in yet.
Yeah.
So it's not this like cookie cutter experience. Like, not that Cocodona was cookie cutter. Like, there's a lot of like the rain and shit. Like, it was crazy. But it's definitely a wild race.
yeah,
especially
still
with,
all.
yeah, those long sections without crew.
Yeah, it's like what, 60 miles?
Yeah, 222 to 2.
That's kind of nuts.
You need the backpack, dude.
That's what I was saying. That's why I'm getting it because I'm gonna carry a lot of shit.
Is Ann running it back?
Ann's going
Oh,
out
yeah.
there, defend
That's
her
the-
title, defend her
Love
title
that,
out
dude.
there.
Well, it's good for you to have her to like get some inside scoop and
She used to be great. Ann's awesome. But I've talked to her for Cocodona, and she's gonna give me some of her logistics for last year
nice.
on Monster, which really is the important thing.
Yeah.
Like running is the easy part. Getting everything lined
The
up.
logistics is nuts. You guys did the legwork.
Mhm.
We just
Isaac, dude.
had a little time out there. You guys were driving around looking for hot food.
The logistics, low key, were insane.
That's how you, dude. You can't.
You were
compete
running
unless you
so
have good
fast in
logistics.
that first 100, and especially that first 125 miles. It was like as fast as we could get to the next aid, and then we were just barely beating you. It was nuts. It was,
Yeah.
It's classic.
That is classic, dude.
Yeah, I think it's like when you're running, it's all about you and everybody's focused on you and you're obviously working your ass off. But when you're the crew, you're working your ass off and nobody cares about you.
No.
Like you're just surviving out there. And
Everyone's
it's
treating you poorly.
yeah, no, everybody's like, "What are you doing here already? What do you mean he's coming in?"
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
calling
like,
you
People are yelling at you.
Yeah,
dude. Why the F are you even here?
They what
fired.
I didn't realize. You know, you just think like, oh well, there's a gas station open, there's a Sheetz somewhere, like, or a Waffle House.
Mhm.
Dude, you get to like Jerome and like Munns Park, there's nothing. They shut the gas stations down at 6:30 or at 7 p.m.
What?
We couldn't even get you a burrito again because as soon as you ate that burrito at Foxborough, we went back to get another one. It's like, oh, he liked that. Let's go get another one because we're not going to have anywhere else to eat. Like through the middle of the night, and they'd already shut the gas station down. It was
That's insane.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens.
We know now. Bring your own cooking equipment.
I think there should be a whole documentary set up following the crew.
Yeah.
Like that's a
Oh, yeah.
compelling story.
Mhm.
That's a fun thing to see.
You know, I think too, another good point about the food not being there and stuff. We had said when we were there, it would be cool if they had just like self-service stuff, like either stuff that's warm just sitting there or like a way to cook things at each aid station for like those first couple crews.
Yeah.
That way you wouldn't need a whole crew there. It's just like something easy. You sign maybe a waiver that's like, hey, I'm gonna use this Blackstone, and I take all responsibility if I get like burned or
Yeah.
something. And then that way you guys have like a Blackstone at every aid station,
That's a great.
or like a Coleman like stove with a skillet or something.
We
Like something.
just needed a little.
Clean it off when you're done, and then you just have the ability to use it. You don't have to travel with anything. I think that would be cool.
Or like a Papa John's like pizza heat bag with like a Papa John's pizza.
Yeah, man.
There that keeps it warm for a couple hours.
Papas.
I think what cracked me up the most
Papa's not there.
is after
Papa.
is after Jerome. I felt like we were at our pinnacle of just hot mess. Like we were starting to like
Good, thank you.
do well as a crew for Dan, but we were falling apart. Like we had just gear everywhere.
You guys were doing great.
We had, because at Jerome you had to sleep. We had to get the sleep setup ready, which meant you had outran the Airbnb, so we were homeless. And so all of our luggage
Yeah.
was just sitting out.
Now that you say that, I remember thinking, man, they got everything out here.
It was just sitting out in the rain, dude. It was just muddy and rainy and disgusting. So yeah, we were at like our pinnacle of like disaster, but someone had made a comment on the live stream like, oh man, they're really organized. And I'm just thinking, we have 7 Denny's boxes like sitting out in front of the van. That van, I can't believe it came clean. I didn't think it was ever going to be the same.
And it went both ways, where it was like we were so organized at first and it was a disaster. To the end, we were not organized at all, but it was running smooth because it was like, this is the only option left. If you want clean socks, you better put these on or just keep what you have on because that's all we have.
Yeah.
And it worked out better, honestly, because
How
it
many pairs of
eliminated the decision making.
That's true. I was making less and less choices as the event went on.
Yeah.
Till the end, where I was with my brother Fred, I was making no choices for myself.
I was just babying you.
It was like fast, slower, slow down, be careful, rock on your left, speed back up. I'm like, all right.
He was controlling your tire speed.
He had the reins, dude.
Dude, you were the horse. He was the jockey.
Yeah,
So that
he was. He's a real big jockey.
He's a big jockey, dude.
He's big for a jockey.
Dude,
Dude, you was 6'5".
You cut him in half, and he'd still be too tall to be a horse jockey.
How many pairs of socks did you bring?
I brought like probably 10 pairs, but I cycled out of like 4
A
pairs.
little more than me.
Really?
I think I had like 6 pairs
You
of used
probably had
ones.
6 or 7.
I cycled 4, but we had time to wash. So that was the big difference.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thought process because that's
thought-
all we knew.
Well, yeah, because I figured I think for you, we were using 2 pairs of socks.
2 pairs. That's how slow I was moving.
Brian had 2 pairs of socks. We were laundering every aid station.
We were all hurting for gear for dry gear at one point.
Yeah.
That's the jacket right there I wore.
It is, dude. You had everybody's gear on at some point.
Yeah, at one point, the only thing I had on that was mine were the socks, shoes, and shorts. Everything else was somebody else's. I had a hat, someone else's, a headlamp, jacket, base layer, gloves.
Dude, that thing was riding up on you like a crop top. It was like on your belly
Hey,
button.
babe.
We'll blame it on the best, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, babe.
Can't blame on the vest, dude.
Gotta get a little airflow in there.
Great best.
Great vest. Excellent vest. But
Best
I think
vest.
that was probably the biggest thing between me and mine and yours race was I had the aid station set up. The aid stations were in peak form.
We had no aid station.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
came
you're
in.
eating lasagna and all kinds
The
of.
craziest one
Oh,
was
it's so good.
coming into Mingus, and it was like an empty, wooden box. There was nothing in there except our crew. It was like when you go to like a VFW like banquet hall. That's what it was like. That's what it smelled like in there, and there was nothing in there. There was no one in there, and it was just our crew.
You gotta explain to me what a VFW
It's
is.
just big open.
Mingus, empty Mingus.
Yeah, empty Mingus.
Mingus was popping.
It's like they were gonna get ready to play bingo in there or something.
I think Mingus was taking souls when I was there. People were actively DNFing. I was like watching them. I was watching the life leave their eyes as they were staring into the fire at the.
We didn't have a fire.
I felt like the silver lining with the climb up Mingus was the field was so horrendous that the climb was like,
I don't even
we
remember
got
the
out of the mud, and I was like, all right, we're moving better. We were moving faster on the climb than we were to that field.
Absolutely, I was thrilled when we got to the climb.
Don't even remember the climb.
So do either of you have any like major gear? We're all over the place here, but any major gear like regrets?
Yes, I'm gonna call out Hoka for the Stinson 7 construction. I bought a pair from a third party like months ago.
What? Wait. Were they actually Hokas or they like
Hold on.
hookahs?
Hold on.
Were they hookahs?
This isn't the pair I
They were
used.
hookahs.
Listen, let me finish my story.
Hookahs,
We're getting there.
dude.
Third party, all right? I'm like, it's an old color. It was cheap. I'm like, okay. I wear them for like 100 miles. They're falling apart. The upper is detaching from the lower. And I'm like, okay,
Lower.
maybe they're old. Like, maybe they're not
Nasty.
perfect. Maybe they're not in good shape. And I can't return them, obviously, because they're third party. I can't warranty it. So I order a brand new pair from Hoka. Brand new. And I wear them like 20 miles before Cocodona. By the time I wore them at the start to Crown King, by the time I'm at Crown King, the upper is separating from the
Dude,
lower.
30 miles.
37 miles, and it was falling apart.
Yeah.
And I switched out of them, and then I put them back on at where was that? Prescott. And I wore them again to the top of Mingus, and they were annihilated. Like mud. I'm pretty sure it was open on the side. Like mud was getting into my shoe.
Did you end up just tossing them?
We threw them away.
They have like a 30-day return policy.
I know. I should have saved them, but it was just they were so disgusting.
Yeah, and you're so mad.
Yeah, I was just pissed. I was like,
you have
throw 'em
one
away.
job.
Yeah. So I know you didn't have that problem with those, did you?
Not that I remember. No, I wore those things the whole way.
Exactly.
They were destroyed by the end, and I also threw them away, but they held up.
Yeah,
They got me there.
I was pretty disappointed about that, but that's my only real gripe. Everything else held up pretty well. I mean, I had little foot problems, but over 250 miles, I had no open blisters or sores.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So no real complaints. Not really. Didn't have any chafing. I'm trying to think of anything else really. Nothing really went too wrong for me. I had a good race overall. Just took my time, enjoyed myself, chilled, slept.
That's best.
Yeah,
Best you can ask
it was
for.
great. It was a
Do you
great
have any
time.
gear issues?
I don't think.
You had a regret on not bringing another pair of slabs, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I would love the Genesis so much. If I would have known that, and it wouldn't have been muddy. If it wouldn't have been muddy, it wouldn't have been a problem because I would have liked the other shoes I brought. But yeah, if I would have had two pairs of the S-Lab Genesis, I would have been a lot happier. But other than that, it was great. Cliftons were great. Switched into those, hawked some sections down.
You're never allowed to go to a race without a pair of clip.
I need them. I will always have a Clifton in a race, unless I can.
Must they outlaw you?
Best trail shoe out there.
Best trail shoot out there.
Dude.
I've ran fast hundreds in Cliftons. I've ran slow hundreds in Cliftons. I've ran 100Ks in Cliftons. It is a great shoe for all things. And Clifton 10 is good too. I'm still wearing that thing. We cut the rubber piece off that fell off, and you still using them.
See,
I still haven't paid for them. I will though.
See, I'm not throwing the entirety of Hoka under the bus. Just their Stinson construction.
I think they're just too rigid of a midsole that if you don't you have to probably slowly break them in, and it can't be too tight on the sides of your feet. Otherwise, it's going to put too much stress on the upper, and it's going to come ripped off. They had the same issue with, like a Bondi 6, same issue. It was ripping off from the midsole, and then they ran overlays down along the sides into the midsole, and that seemed to help.
I should say the decals also came off. So it's still shitty construction.
That's true.
That ain't got nothing to do with the rigidity.
Well,
They ain't just using strong enough glue. So, but yeah, that's it for me. It's
awesome.
fucked up the Stinsons.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you, dog.
Got it done.
Got it
Yeah.
done, dude. It was a good
Got it
time.
done. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited for Monster. Monster's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
95% chance of Dan going out there.
95.
95.
I should be able to go probably.
Perfect.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be there. I
People
can't
are like
wait.
volunteering now. I have like multiple people volunteering to go.
Well, send me a pacer spot.
I will.
I don't
dude.
I don't want to come out and not run.
You're getting a big pacer.
I'll take the biggest pacer spot. I'll
22
I'll borrow the Gim, dude. The Gim
the
Gim.
gimbal. The gimbal.
I'll freaking get some. By that point,
the
I might have
Gim
a
Gim.
better phone. I could get some good footage.
What you got there?
You might
Just
even have a drone by then.
older
Who knows, man.
Oh, a drone would be nuts.
That's true. We'll mic you up, drone you up.
I'll just be saying crazy things. That's
Just live stream the whole thing from yourself.
Instagram Live.
The whole thing.
We're going live on Instagram.
For the next
8 hours, 8.5 hours.
next 27 hours. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But I'd like to run Monster faster than like relative, like per mile.
Well, I think it's more runnable.
Yeah,
Is it? Is it flatter?
Yeah, I think it's like same amount of vert, but now over 300 miles.
exactly.
No shade.
No shades.
That's
They're
probably
very
the
different.
umbrella. Mary Poppins. And I think I could have ran more at Cocodona, but you don't know.
You don't, yeah,
You don't know.
I think that's the thing about
I
the
just want to
first
prove it. I want
one.
to finish.
You're doing everything you can to just assure the finish line comes, because that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But then looking back, you're like,
Could have ran a little.
I could have taken a couple more chances probably.
Yes.
But you don't know that at the time. But I think historically, you look at people's first 200 time
Mhm.
versus their second one, and it's like huge difference. Just hours and hours shaved off.
You plan on doing a run more? Transfer into Tahoe?
Yes, 100%. That's all I've been doing training wise.
Yeah,
is
that's
running.
running,
So
dude.
I've done like 0 hiking. So I mean, I know I'll have to hike, but
Yeah.
If you can run, you can walk.
yeah, it all hurts.
It's all about you increase the ceiling,
That's right.
push the ceiling up.
Push ceiling out, the floor comes with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Talk about Tahoe a little bit. We're what,
Mhm.
less than 2 weeks?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? How you
Away?
feeling about it?
Yeah,
This
I
is
leave
real paper.
next Tuesday.
Paper.
So final run today with the boys. Awesome. It's coming up, man. So leave on the 10th. Race starts on the Friday the 13th. So it must be a good.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's dirty,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
Friday start.
I think it's a full moon too.
Is it?
Holy shit.
It's gonna get weird.
Dude, it's gonna turn into a
man.
werewolf out there.
We're just howling
That's kind of sick.
out there, howling at the moon.
What's the start of Tahoe like? Is it like people? Is there a huge gap in aid stations like Cocodona, or is it just like normal the whole way through?
Yeah. So the first 60 miles, you do a 30-mile out and back, uncrewed. So you don't see your crew until 60. What they've done this year is they've added a 1.5-mile loop around the ski resort at the beginning to eliminate the conga line at the beginning, because you climb straight up Heavenly Ski Resort, which is like maybe 3,000 to 4,000 feet right off the jump, and historically it would like
That's a big
bang
move.
people up, just back people up. So I think it's kind of like the escarpment at Western. So they created this 1.5 to try and separate that, so it should speed everything up a little bit. But yeah, you go 15 miles, and then back. So the thing with Tahoe, I think, is that the aid stations are further apart.
Right.
So
What's the furthest one apart? Yeah.
I think it's like 20 some miles.
Shit, dude.
20 to 22 miles, maybe. I could be off on that. I need Isaac to tell me that kind of information. I don't know.
No, you just need the elevation chart printout,
That's it, baby. A little laminated.
laminated elevation chart.
I did find like 6 of those in my pant pocket the other day. I was like, that's where they
It's a
all
keepsake, dude.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So take us back to kind of the lead up, like your training block into this. What did it look like?
Yeah, I got really lucky, I think, because they were training for Cocodona, so it all worked out where there was just a lot of miles being run, and I got the benefit of just tagging on with all of you guys for that. And then, I got an additional 4 weeks of time, after Cocodona to now to keep building. And yeah, it's been really good. It's the most volume I've ever had for sure. Before this build, I'd only had like 2 100-mile weeks ever of training. I did 3 back to back to back.
Yep.
Did a down week, built back up, had another one.
Oh.
Now we're tapering down. So a lot of volume, a lot of running time. So I feel the best I've ever felt. Let's just hope it translates.
That's the ticket right there.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Dude,
but
that's all you can do though. Like, I mean, you did the thing. Like, you did the right things.
I think so. I
Like,
mean,
you're fit as shit.
yeah,
And
just putting it all together. I think there's just so much time for things to go wrong, and you just hope they don't.
That's a good point though. This winter and leading into the spring, it's been like almost running. There's too many opportunities to run away.
Yeah,
Like I hit my mileage for the week, but the boys are going, so I gotta go again.
yeah, I remember when Jack started his taper for Cocodona. That's when Dan put together this diabolical 3, and it was a stupid 70-mile weekend. And I felt Jack's pain because he was like, "Man, I want to be out there," but he had the self-restraint to not do that and truly taper. And I feel like that's going to be these next, 10 days for me, where
Tapering sucks.
Dan's building up, got workouts happening, and you want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And you guys, obviously, I mean, I think Highland's the same weekend as Tahoe, so everybody's kind of ramping up right now, and
You're coming down.
I'm starting to come down, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I felt that pain all winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they're all running and I can't do anything. It sucks.
But then it's also like, okay, I know here in 10 days I'm going to do more running than I want to be doing. Like,
Yeah.
at some point I'll be like, I'm done running.
I'm like, wow, I've been running for a couple days. And
Yeah. A couple
Take
days.
the rest while you can, dude.
yeah,
And I'll make the same
sufficed.
promise I always make myself, just finish this and you never have to run again. I think we've all told ourselves that, but
Dude, honestly, for me, the winter training block was way harder than Cocodona. Like, it was way harder than the race.
It was just getting out in the cold, dude.
It was, man.
It was so
You
cold.
don't like the cold. Well, none of us like the cold.
It wasn't really-
especially Jack.
It's
You're
icy.
always bundled up.
The cold
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
the bad. It was the ice, dude. We had ice on the streets, like layers of ice for like 2 weeks straight.
yeah.
I kept falling hard.
Mhm.
No one else was falling. Only me.
Dude, I was skating on that thing.
I just kept eating it, dude.
Dude, I want to tell the story of you going down the hill. Though.
The first fall of the
Yeah,
winter.
this was the ultimate fall.
Yeah, you guys just go down the hill like no problem.
I saw shimmering on my right side and Dan's to my right. I know he's going right into it. he just like comically like legs in the air falls and just starts sliding down the hill.
I couldn't stop, dude.
And cussing at the
Yeah.
same time.
You're like, motherfucker.
But the thing I'm concerned about is Dan's route selection and his ability to run on like not perfect terrain. Like how? Why did that
What, ice?
ice?
It gets me, dude. I think the way my foot hits the ground, where I put pressure on the ground, it doesn't. I have no downward force. I have no pressure, dude. I don't know what it is, because I can run on the same. Like, even when we were just out past my house, like adding on that one day, even just that. I mean, we're on the same ground, and I eat it, and I'm just like, I think it's the way I hit the ground.
Yeah.
You're pressing like
Out,
at an
out or
angle
in, or
instead of pushing up. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's not right.
No, it's right. You're doing something right.
It's not
For
Maybe
dry.
not for ice.
I'm
Yeah,
doing
not for
something
ice.
right for dry, not for wet, for ice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a big winter for sure, but I think we're all reaping the benefits of it.
Oh, yeah, it was
We're all
blessing
in
and
the
curse.
best. We have the best fitness we've ever had. So speaking of fitness, you two have Highland Sky coming up. Classic West Virginia race. How many times have you won it, Caleb?
I've won it twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
I ran it once. I unfortunately get Caleb on a revenge tour coming off of.
Yeah. Little
An
chip on the
injury,
shoulder,
dude.
coming back.
It's coming off of an injury with
Dude,
like
fit
a
again.
crazy Strava graph happening.
It is very
I
beautiful.
couldn't keep it up though. Like I couldn't keep it going.
Is this the
straight.
week that it dies?
Yeah.
Oh, it dies.
But
Are you guys going to give us any race secrets and strategy secrets, or is it just
Yeah, I mean,
let her rip from the jump and pray to God?
so it's probably gonna be more like that, just because I know what our strengths are versus some of our competition. There's some really good technical runners out there that are running, like Butch, for example, Butch Slayball. He's gonna nail that downhill Boar's Nest. So if we can get a good gap on him, maybe we'll all reconvene at the mile 20 aid station and then just start the race from there. But yeah, I think we'll get out. Maybe not crazy hard, but we'll just get out, try to distance ourselves from some people. Try to run the climb as hard as possible, within reason, like not like killing yourself.
I
But,
love that saying.
and then survive the creek up top on Roaring Plains, and then for me, definitely survive Boar's Nest. I actually made a segment just to see like kind of comparing how I've done versus like everybody else. I'm like 26th on the list. For example, Logan's like 6th.
Nice.
There's
You-
a,
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
there's a couple descents in Highlands that you have to have no regard for your
Life.
safety.
yeah.
You just have to let it fly, and so that kind of sucks.
And I'm not really too keen on that, to be honest. Like, it scares me a little bit.
That's when
So,
I broke my toe.
yeah. Yeah, actually, Dan's behind me on that just because you broke your toe.
I stopped. Is that the one I was stopped? Yeah, I had to stop and readjust my toe and my shoe. I was like, this is ridiculous.
There are just so many rocks. Like,
Yeah, you were just up there this past weekend. What kind of shape is the course in?
it's not in bad shape. I think how much it rains between now and then will play a big role because it's super muddy. It wasn't like terrible up top, but like if it rains a lot more, like it has been, I think it's going to be pretty sloppy up there.
Yeah.
But they did some pretty good work on the trail weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Like you could still see where they cut and stuff, which was pretty cool. But yeah. I think it's gonna be in good shape though. Hopefully it dries out some. Which it probably won't, but we need a drought.
There's gonna be a ton of
It'll be
people
wet.
there this year. Be lots of hype.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I haven't raced essentially in a year. I got hurt right after Highlands last year. Just strung together. End of summer.
You're
fall.
fit, dude.
He's fit.
I'm so sick of this.
I'm not worried about the fitness as much as just like the racing jitters, man. I haven't raced. I literally haven't raced in a year.
Yeah,
That's true.
once that gun goes off, man, just
Logan's that guy.
Run
If
with
we
the
all
boys.
stopped running for a year and then ran a race, he would destroy it. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know, man.
This is what's gonna happen.
yeah.
That's why I like working out with Logan and Derek. They're just always ready to go.
We were talking about that yesterday. It's like there's only a couple people that can just show up and do it.
Dude, I was nervous. I was nervous for this week. I was like, I have not worked out, and
We nailed that.
I haven't worked out in like 3 months because we were working out hard last summer,
Very consistently.
and now it's like, well, we'll see. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
we survived it.
You guys were on demon mode last summer. If you want to put it that way.
on that, I guess.
Stay on demon modes.
Yeah, I like when everybody's training for 200s because it's a little less intensity. There's more volume, and that's where I find my happy place.
Me too.
Hang out.
You're in a couple workouts.
Yeah,
I'm sticking you too, Shannon.
You were running up these hills today.
Yeah.
Just crushed it.
Ryan's fit too.
I'm just saying, like 200, even 200 speed is much more like accessible than
Absolutely.
100K, 100-mile speed.
Yeah, like we go out and we ran that run with Brett, and it was 20 miles, 6:45 pace, and we're like, that's a solid workout. 200 training block.
Yeah, and I felt great. Like
Yeah.
that steady state. I'm glad to be there. I think that's the benefit of doing these workouts is like you do get your just efficiency up a little bit.
Your running economy gets so much better.
Yeah. So hopefully that translates into
Oh, it will.
It's there.
100%.
Doesn't hurt.
Hay is in the
Yeah.
barn.
because now everybody's shifting back into 100-mile training, and it's just like it's a different ballgame.
Mhm.
And we'll all get there, but it takes a couple weeks of like transitioning back.
You do have to shift gears.
You do have to shift literally.
We were shifting gears yesterday.
I was on the shifting gears,
Yeah.
baby. Trying to
Cannondale, brother.
Cannondale, sorry, yeah.
Freaking Cannondale.
I like the simplicity of 200 training. You're just like, I need to move as much as possible. I
Yeah.
can in a week.
I
Run
love
as much
it.
as possible.
Eat
Not
snacks and
Climb a
drinking
mountain.
Coke.
Yeah, as much like you can walk too. Take a
Stair
walk.
climber.
Like that's good too. Like it's all. It's
Yeah,
very
there's no like workout planning. It's just miles.
We'll be out here for 30 miles or whatever.
I love that.
That was such a special time this winter though. We were just hitting 50Ks out here. That was good.
6 hours out here, dude.
I hit a little bit of a depression like when you started tapering for Cocodona because it almost felt like the closing of a chapter.
Yeah, it did.
And I was just like, man, that was so fun looking back. And now it's like,
It's gonna happen again.
it'll come back. But
It is.
I think that's what leads to success in these races. Like you have to love the training process. And obviously having all the guys around here in the community we have is just awesome. And there's no reason not to go run these crazy races because the training's fun for it. So
That's the real key. I think you gotta enjoy I think that's why we like 200s because we like the running part too. Like you're not just looking for the finish,
yeah, that's
The process
that's
of
the
it.
least favorite part because then it is over.
Yeah, then it's over.
And then it's like the blues.
yeah.
Uh,
The prime pocket is like
You love a good grind.
just the lead up to the finish.
That's right.
I don't know, man. It was good stuff.
Great
Well,
stuff.
boys, I think we could go on forever. I think this is a good.
We did some.
I
We
agree.
got the Cocodona from Jack
Mhm.
for the most part.
That's about all I remember.
Yeah, it was very.
We got
It was like
little,
a dream.
we got a quick Tahoe.
We didn't really talk about Western like at all.
We don't need to talk.
I think
about
we
that.
save that for next.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a whole thing.
We got enough
It's a
wait
whole can of
list, dude. No one's expecting anything.
Get out of here, Jim.
Time to rock and roll.
But we're gonna talk about it.
We know we're gonna do our best.
I'm gonna touch.
We're 100%
Disarming.
I'm gonna touch Killian, dude. I want to give him a handshake. That sounds bad. I just want to give him a handshake.
All right, let's go. We eat
Oh.
breakfast.
Yeah, I need brekkie.
All right, boys.
Single egg.
Good stuff. We'll do it again.
Sick.
Good.
For anybody that listened, thanks for listening to us ramble. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it.
There'll be more.
Just starting
There'll
the
be more
journey.
rambling.
That's right.
That's what we do on runs.
Shout out to Squawk.
No, no, you can't.